And now we give way to BNL's segment that recognizes the outstanding business movers in our midst. This week we have the President and Chief Executive Officer of Guevent, Mr. Ricardo Guevarra.
Guevent's Enterprises top honcho, Mr. Ricardo Guevarra, is Ricky to most people who know him, and that is how he wishes to be called. His mother was born in Naga, while his dad, the founder of the family business, was born in Iriga. Both his parents, though, spent most of their life in Naga before moving to Manila. The youngest of 8 siblings, all of whom are still around today, he jokingly says he is number 8 of 8.
My father was a business person, a businessman. And he started with radios back in Bicol. He had a radio repair store. He got his vocation through actually correspondence school. He didn't really have any formal education like college, so he went through a correspondence school. And then he came over to Manila. I forget what year, a long time ago. And he started the small radio shop also, again, repair shop, somewhere in, I'm going to guess, Raon yata yun in Manila. And then from there on, he built, or started, aside from fixing radios, he started assembling radios from the United States. And then that's where he started Radio Wealth. That was an appliance company that survived till the late 70s, early 80s. So he was one of the pioneers in terms of radio and electronic appliances here in the Philippines.
In college at the University of the Philippines, he became a member of the Upsilon Sigma Pi fraternity and studied at the State University just when martial law was declared.
No, because galing America, actually, it was like, it was not a culture shock, but it was different. Gulo dito. Dami nagpo-protesta, and but it was normal. Everyone was like, no one was bothered by it. And then after yung martial law, biglang tumahimik, sabi ko, abnormal yata to.
His college degree had nothing to do with his chosen career path, like many people. But Ricky is the first to say that has no regrets about it.
People would ask me then, ikaw ano bang gagawin mo? No. gusto ko lang, I want to please my dad. I want to finish my school, and I'm sure there'll be something I can do. At that time, my father's business was really good. We had Radio Wealth, which is the appliance company. We had Volkswagen, the car company. We were the importers and the distributors. And we had several other companies that I'm sure I told myself I can find a position here. But an opportunity came up in 1979. My father asked all my siblings who wants to go to America and run the trading company. We had a small trading company in New York. Walang gustong maglaban ng sarili nilang damit, walang gustong magplancha. So sabi ko, ako na lang, Dad. Total, wala pa naman ako asawa. So that's how I ended up in America.
It was in 1979 that Ricky moved to the US, and here he stayed for 33 years.
My family, my wife and myself, I don't have children. And nasobrahan kami sa family planning eh. And that's why I keep on telling young people, because okay, magka-family planning.
Ricky obviously looks up to his father, who is said taught him the value of hard work and the importance of family ties.
My dad always taught us to, I guess, work for your money. So, he was never, my mom or my dad was never like giving us like money. They were always like, oh, trabaho ka ng konti, bibigyan ka ng pera. And so what I would always do is either I would go to Radio Wealth, research and development. I would just like hang out there and take a look what's going on. People give me odd jobs, and then I'd punch in and out time card, and then I'd show it to the treasurer. finish 8 hours or 7 hours or 5 or whatever, and I get paid. So that's what I've been doing since I was elementary, actually.
The company he now leads, Guevent Industry, is the holding company of the family's various business concerns as well as the incubator for new businesses. What started out as a humble radio repair shop that ballooned into one of the pioneer appliance business company in the Philippines is now engaged in novel ideas like the e-trikes.
The e-trike bayan that started with a friend of mine, si Boying Soriano, who's now our COO. He's actually a fraternity brother of mine. He approached me. He was not working for us then. He was working for another company. He approached me with an idea. How would you like to get into the electric cars? And I said, medyo crowded na yan, Boying. You know, just all it takes is a Toyota or a Hyundai to just say we want to go into the electric cars, and kaya kang ano yan. You know, they can trample all over you. And he said, no, this is a particular niche. It's going to be electric tricycle, and it's a market in the Philippines that is quite large.
Ricky particularly liked the social components of the e-trike idea and immediately presented this new venture to the board of directors of his company. The board, composed mostly of family members, also appreciated the idea of having zero-emission electric tricycles for the Philippine market, and that signaled the company's entry to this venture.
So these people that are running the e-trikes now, we've actually validated the income that they're getting. They're getting double, minimum double. We were promising them double, so they are getting double. Some of them are even getting more than double. The way it's designed, it can fit 6 people comfortably.
Ricky made sure that when the e-trike was finally launched and presented to the media, it was fully loaded and could meet the high standards that had set out for the new product. It passed the test with flying colors.
It's fixable, and I think we're on our way to a good start with our project.
In order to market it well, the first step was to have the local government unit of a specified locality appreciate the need for the e-trike and its benefit to the community.
The local government of Mandaluyong is very forward-thinking. When we first introduced the e-trike bayan, that was actually our first task, was to go to the local government and basically ask, not permission, but ask them, how do you think this program will fit in your program? And Mayor Benhar Abalos, who's very much into green, or environment cleaning or cleanup, he was very much into this. Sabi niya, I was the first to adopt the electric tricycles here 4 years ago, as far back as 4 years ago, and I was very surprised about that. And he said, any electric vehicle that comes to our community, we're more than welcome. And in fact, I will push it personally. Every time there's a tricycle driver, I'll ask, his government will basically push for the adoption of electric vehicles.
Guevent, with Ricky at the helm, has ventured in agribusiness as well. With a big piece of land in Palawan where bamboo grows naturally, the company planted bamboo and put up a wood processing plant.
We can make bamboo floors, bamboo trim, wood trimmings. Now for the wood processing, same thing. We're making like these molds, these wooden molds. We take the branches from, we don't cut the trees. We're not allowed to cut the trees. So we just take the branches which the Department of Agriculture promotes, so that during storm, the trees don't fall. It grows better if you trim the branches.
When asked if he has plans of retiring, Ricky laughingly said he has no such plans. Actually, when he was in the US, where he successfully set up an alloy wheel business in 1983, he thought of retiring when his Chinese supplier offered to buy into his business through a partnership.
And the only condition I gave them, I said, is I can only work for you for 5 years. And they said, how about 6? I said, okay.
But the youngest of the Guevara children was needed at home, and his older brother Boy asked him to come home to the Philippines to run the family business.
No, he come back. Somebody has to run the company here. I said, why me? He said, because we're getting old. You're number 8.
When he is not busy thinking of bright new ideas for a new venture, Ricky loves to play golf. He actually started playing golf when he was barely 6 years old and continued till he was 19 years old. He said he hated the game then, but when he moved to the US, he took it up again after 10 years and was surprised that he fell in love with the game.
And then I loved it. Only because, now I was not forced. I was playing with friends. And ever since up to now, it's my hobby.
Now his passion is traveling with his wife.
I love eating good food and drinking good wine. That's been, I guess, the offshoot of the love for travel. Because every time you're in a new place, you want to try the local food, and then you get to try the good ones, and you get to acquire that taste, which leads you to wanting better and better tasting food. So.
At home, he tries to keep in shape with a 45-minute workout, a regimen he strictly follows at least 4 times a week to keep the unwanted pounds from piling up while still indulging his passion for good food. And then off to work he goes, a mere 7-minute drive from his home. And now he's back in the country and loving it. He is at the helm of the family business and still excited about any new business venture that his family is going into. We ask Ricky what his advice is for young businessmen.
The business should always be a two-way street. It's not just the suppliers who should make money. It should also be the customer or the distributor or the dealer should also make money. And whoever's making it, which is the employee, should also make money. I guess what I'm saying, everyone in the value chain, the person who makes the product, that would be the employee, should be getting good salary. The supplier who's supplying you the machineries, the raw materials, should also make money. And of course, the customer who wants the product or who's looking for the product should also be very satisfied with the product you're selling. So it's win-win.
For entrepreneurs, he points out that no dream or business opportunity should be too big or too small to be pursued. Always
have a dream. No matter how crazy, no matter how wild, how tame, the dream is what's going to drive you.
Ricky narrated the story of how, as early as 1980, his father had pitched the idea of going into the remittance business while Ricky was in the US, and how he completely rebuffed the idea. His father also pitched the idea of going into the regalogram business to Ricky, and again, he was a non-believer and again proved wrong.
Again, yung mga balikbayan na natin, they probably need a television or instead of buying it sa America, we'll have it delivered na sa Philippines. Sabi ko, Dad, walang gagawa niya.
But with all those big business ventures that got away, Ricky is happy with what he has now, back in his own country with his family and the business empire that his father built, and which is now successfully expanding as he discovers new horizons and meet new challenges.
Ricky Guevara's new business ventures, incidentally, are now more socially relevant as he adheres to the principles of a green environment and more empowered communities. A business mover indeed.